All right, so question and answer session. Emmanuel said, I don't have a pure strategy to knowing when to, sorry, I'm trying to read that again. So Emmanuel said, I don't have a pure strategy to knowing when to enter. Please mute your mind, mute your mind. If you are joining, just mute your mind. Just mute your mind. Okay, so I don't have a pure strategy to knowing when to enter. I may know where, but when is the issue, the entry point. All right, so from the question you just asked now, you're having issues with entry. Okay, I don't know if you are just joining for the first time. In case you are joining for the first time, I am trading with KC. I'm trading for 3 years now. So if you are someone that has been following me back to back, I've dropped a whole lot of content on entry. I've I've taught entry in diverse way, both schematic way and video coverage. I've also sent the video in Telegram. You guys should be very active there. Check the videos. Don't just view it and pass by. Always check the content of what is being dropped, right? Context of what is being dropped. Always check it. So entry. Entry is the process of executing your buy position or your sell position. That is what we call entry. That is, how do you enter your buy position and how do you enter your sell position? Now, the first thing you should take note of is before you talk about entry, you need to make sure that your directional bias in the market is absolutely correct. That is, either you are bullish or bearish. Bullish or bearish, you should have ascertained that, okay, yes, I am bullish or I am bearish. Then after that, the next thing is your zone must be absolutely correct. Your zone of activation must be absolutely correct. This zone of activation takes care of anything called delay in the market. That is that supply or demand that will sponsor the movement. All right, that supply or that demand that will sponsor the movement to be giving liquidity that you want price to take out. So let's say that uh, we have a supply. Every supply is an areas where we expect bearish movement to occur from, and every demand are area where we expect bullish movements to occur from. Okay, every demand are areas where we want bullish move to occur from. So how can we now enter a trade after our directional bias has been established and also after our zone of activation has also been plotted out? So let me use this trade as a case study. This is last 100. I want to use this trade as a case study. But before I come to this trade here, I'm going to give you a schematics that you can make use of in terms of entry. Now, there are two schematics you can use. Remember, supply areas are areas where you want to look towards selling, while demand areas are areas where you want to look towards buying. So let's assume that we want to sell. And let's say we have something like this. Price was coming from a downtrend, and then we started seeing bullish movements here. And let's say, okay, let me incorporate future housing now. Let's say we have full absorption from this passive and this aggressors. Maybe the participants here are buyers. The positive sign represent buyers, the negative sign represent sellers. So this is what we call exhaustion absorption, telling us that okay, yeah, price is now bearish all the way, maybe to a given liquidity provided and let's say this is the liquidity that we are now bearish towards. So it means that potentially our directional bias what equals to sellers. This is the first thing you need to take note of before you talk about entry. Directional bias equals to what? Equals to sellers. So what do sellers want in the market? Structurally, they want price to drop to the downside. Obviously, you can't see my screen. Can everybody see my screen, please? I think it's a network. Can everyone see my screen, please? Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, yes. Yes, you can
Yes.
see it.
Okay, I think it's your network. Maybe you should exit and join back. I think it's your network. I think it's your network. Okay, yeah, you should, you should. So, in case you still have more questions, you can still drop your questions. When I'm done with this, go to the next one. Take advantage of this question and answer session, right? Good. So let's continue. So sellers structurally want price to always drop to the downside, right? So now price entered inside this our supply area. Two things will happen here. Is either we have a sweep of liquidity, all right, that is either when price enters here, we see price sweeping this high and breaking structure to the downside. Okay, sweeping that high and breaking structure to the downside. Now, price has entered the supply. We could see a sweep of liquidity here and a break of structure. Okay, BOS. So on a pullback, you execute your what? Your trade. And there's something you need to take note of. When you execute your trade, the best place, I repeat, the best place to put your stop loss. Please take note of this. The best place to put your stop loss is always at the point of validation of your supply area. That is that zone where you are looking towards selling. Your invalidation, your SL should be at the invalidation of the zone, not at the validation of the entry criteria that was given to you, because there are sometimes that price could consolidate inside your supply and you could see multiple sweep of highs before price goes to your defined direction. So take note of that. All right. So the moment price breaks here on the pullback, you enter. You can see that I put my stop loss at the validation point of the zone, and then you ride it all the way to whatever liquidity that you have as these passive areas. Okay, for those that don't know what are passive areas, like just structural lows or highs that form earlier on, while these are just the aggressors, the current trend movement. This in terms of HRC. If you are not familiar with HRC, structurally, you just locate imbalances. Or if you want to use a term that everybody can relate with, liquidity, as they are that. So if you are trading all the way to this low or this external low, that's your choice. But then this year is entry criteria. So this is the first one. Then we have what we call market structure shifts. All right, so we have what we call market structure shift, or we can call it shift in market structure (SMS). So what is that? This is still the supply. Price enters inside that area. This is the low that led to this high. Now, price now failed to create a new high, and we now have a break of structure. So this is where we have the break of structure. This is the BOS. All right, this area here is the BOS. So this is SMS, market structure shifts. That is this low failed to create a new high. We are in a bullish phase, so we always want price to keep creating highs to the upside. Now, price now failed to create a new high, and we had a break of structure. This is already a change in character, right? So this is an entry confirmation that you can make use of, and then still put your stop loss at the validation point of the zone. Then you ride your trade to the downside. Take note that anything called entry will be wrong the moment these two things are. That is just it. So the moment you cannot ascertain your directional bias, trust me, there is no entry pattern that will work. Whether you want to make it your candlestick confirmation, we can also use candlestick confirmation. There are some people that make it your beat. Some people wait for maybe a engulfing candle or for pin bar, blah blah blah, whatever you want to do. You will just be wrong the moment your directional bias is wrong. So that's why I said these are the two things that you need to take note of before you talk about entry. Okay, so now having explained this, let's now go to the chart and let's see how price caused this reversal by just taking note of entry confirmation. All right, now another thing I think the smart person here might want to ask is there a defined time frame to use? No, there's no defined time frame. It is dependent on the one that you want to make use of, because how you frame up your trade is dependent on the liquidity you're targeting, right? So if you are looking at an intraday trade, then of course time frames like 15 minutes, 5 minutes will be okay. Or let me just say 15 minutes. 15 minutes is perfect, right? We are looking at maybe a swing trade, the time frame like 1 hour, 4 hour is better. All right. So just take note of that. So let's say price enters this our demand area now. We are looking towards buying. So we buy from demand area structurally. Now price has entered inside it. So let us read it. So this is low. This was when price entered. We had a low. We had price came to sweep this area. But look at this. Was it this low that led to this low? No. This is the lower high. This is lower low. LL lower low. This is lower high. Not this. This is the originator of this low, not this. This is an internal low, internal high. Okay, so it means that if I want to make it of lower high, lower low, lower high, and lower low, it means that this low here was formed from this high here. Okay, so if I want to make use of where price gave us that true break of structure using 1 hour time frame, then it has to be this high. Let's say I want to use 1 hour time frame. Now I can choose to use 15 minutes time frame. Let me go to 15 minutes time frame. That's why I said it is dependent on where you want to make use of as your reference point. Okay. Now using this by 15 minutes time frame, price entered our area, created a new high, price came to sweep liquidity here. This was when price swept this low here as liquidity. Okay, let me delete this so it won't be wrong. So price came to sweep this low as a liquidity. After sweeping low as liquidity, we had this high, right? Then price created this and failed to create a new low. This low was meant to create at least a new low. Lower high was supposed to create a new low to come and raise this. But since we're inside the demand and we're anticipating more buys, price came to break structure. Price came to break structure here. All right, so this is a 15 minutes confirmation found inside your zone. And you want to buy, of course, the moment price broke this, you would have entered. Let's say you want to use, sometimes I use my buy stop order, my sell stop order as the confirmation item. And then you write your trade to the upside. So this will still give you 1 is 3, right? You can see 1 is 3. So this is entry confirmation. Now, this will be wrong if your directional bias is wrong. That is just the truth. To be wrong if your directional bias is wrong. So let's say I'm making use of this now. Let's say you wanted to buy from, let's say you saw this as an area that will cause a reversal, right? What do you think will happen? What do you think happened here? We have the confirmation now. This is it. This is the confirmation that we have. And you see, lower low, fail to go to a new low, break of structure. So of course you might want to buy. Yeah, you might want to buy. But what do you think will happen to you? You need stop loss. Why? Your directional bias is wrong. So entry will be wrong the moment your directional bias. So I believe I've answered the question this time around. Have I answered it very well? I believe I've done justice to that. So next question. Next question. Then also, in case you don't want to use entry confirmation, you can still enter your trade aggressively. Yes, you can. So it just depends on how you want to execute your trade. For instance, if this is my demand now, I want to buy. It's not mandatory that I must wait for confirmation. If you want to enter using normal aggressive confirmation, then that's your choice to make. Just valid your trade. But if you just want maybe you are skeptical about the zone, you need extra complexes, then you can use the entry pattern. There is no one way to trading. There are different ways to trading. So you just pick the one that resonates with your psychology and stick to it. So there's no manual to profitability. Somebody else will tell you they don't use a secret opportunity structure, they just enter the trade, and that is fine. Another person will tell you that it's compulsory that you wait for confirmation. So everything has their pros and their cons, right? So you just have like this. So yeah. Question, next question, please. I don't want to waste too much time here. I don't want to waste too much time. If you have any question again, you can ask me. If you have any question, ask. Can I use HRC to trade intraday? Yes, my brother, you can. If you are trading HRC, you can make use of it for your intraday setup, your swing setup, and even scalping. Yes, HRC is also very good in scalping. So it depends on how you want to frame up your trade. What liquidity are you targeting? What zone do you want to trade from? What range, what structure range do you want to trade from? Are you trading from a daily range? Are you trading from a weekly range? Are you trading from a monthly range? Those things are what determines the type of trade you like to take, right? So, of course, HRC works in all aspects of trading. So, it's there for you to now decide the type of trader you want to become and then just trade it in relation to the type of trader you want to become. Next question. Must all the coordinates be the same when it comes to trade enhancer, or so far the highest volume overall is not divergent? Trade enhancer is a topic on its own and it has its own psychology, right? Trade enhancer tells you that okay, yeah, you've gotten confirmation through exhaustion absorption. So it just means that whatever is happening is just a continuation of what is supposed to happen, right? Exhaustion absorption will definitely signal the reversal. The trend enhancer can now be used to cause more momentum to that decline move. Do you get me? So for trend enhancer, it definitely the thought process says you must have same coordinates, right? So yeah, you must have same coordinates for trend enhancer. But note that price must have already given you the hints for exhaustion, absorption. Yeah, next question. Please just drop your question in the chat box. I think I'll prefer chat box questions. I think I'll prefer chat box questions. Next question, guys. I'm active. Oh. You guys are not active. Oh. I'm active. Oh. That question that you've always wanted to ask me. Now is the opportunity for you to ask it for free. Drop it in the chat box. Instead of raising your hand, drop it in the chat box. Instead of raising your hand, drop it in the chat box. Instead of raising your hand, drop it in the chat box. Drop it, drop it, drop it, drop it. So let's say we have something like this now. Let's say here we have W plus D plus, and here we have, let me use let me use this so to not be wrong. Let's say here I have W plus D plus, and over here I have W plus D minus. Okay, W plus D plus, W plus D minus. This is what momentum absorption, right? So we know that we are still bearish. So since we are still bearish, let's now say the coordinate of this high here is, let's say D plus. Okay, this is D plus. In that case, let's say D plus S plus. Let's just say D plus S plus. D plus S plus. Now, in that case, these aggressors that are coming, okay, and let's say this is the zone of activation. Yeah, let's say the zone is here. So since we have G plus here, trade enhancer is telling you that since the movement from here to here has already signaled to you that we could still see more likelihood of price dropping to the downside. Then that means that yeah, you could have EA, exhaustion absorption, or a trend enhancer. Okay, which would be also G plus S plus, and price will still reverse to the downside. So those that don't know about momentum trend enhancer will not be like, but this is same coordinate and price is we did not see opposite signals. Price is not supposed to sell. It just means that you don't understand thought process. All right, so that is it. No, Mr. Nora, I hope I answered the question very well. So if I'm here from here, my passive and aggressors, if I'm still bearish, of course, over this high, I could either have exhaustion absorption or a trend answer. That is what that's the thought process. That's the thought process behind trading answer. That's the thought process. That's the thought process behind trading answer when you are trading neutrals. Okay? Yeah. Next question, next question, next question, next question. Oh, these guys. Okay. He said, sir, I'm having issues with directional bias. Please, I want to learn neutrals and learn how to handle that. Please, from your trading experience, using neutrals, how accurate, how, come in, let me read this well. Please, from your trading experience using neutrals, how accurate number possibility can you rate neutrals in respect to its zone and liquidity? Sir, you can also rate your answer in percentage. Okay, you are indirectly saying how accurate is neutrals. To be very honest with you, yeah. Um, See, I don't want to, I need to be very careful with my words, yeah. But there's nothing that is 100% in trading. Just know that. Then any holy grail you're looking for lies in. But the thought process behind nature, to be honest with you, I'm not even capping, is 100%. But let me not say, let me not give it 100% because nothing will be 100%, right? Nothing will be 100%. But at least I can tell you that let me leave that 100% for God. Let's leave 100% for God. HRS will help you with 99%. Now, I'm not saying that my own rating is 99%. If I'm rating myself 99%, that means that I don't encounter loss, which is false. I do encounter losses. But any losses that I encounter, it comes from my own mistake. That's what we should understand. If I hit stop loss today or I drop a trade and it goes wrong, it is because of my own mistake. Because if I go back to check, I might have neglected something. Maybe I neglected that, oh, we had exhaustion absorption, or maybe I neglected a particular liquidity, or maybe I neglected a particular imbalance, or my zone of activation was wrong. Do you get? But the psychology behind HRLC is absolutely correct. There is no issue with it. So if you want to learn HRLC, trust me, dive in. There's no better time to start than now. Trust me. Don't care much about what people say or whatever anyone is happening. And bro, learn it for yourself. You feel me? And you are trading because you want to become a better person for yourself and your family, and that's what really matters. Any other thing anybody says, careless. All right, HRC, superb, 100%, no issue. Any losses you encounter comes from you. So it might be that maybe you don't really understand the thought process behind that particular segment of HRC. Because each topic has their own psychology. They have the message they're passing across to you. So the question is, do you understand what this particular statement is saying? Trade enhancer is different from exhaustion absorption. Exhaustion absorption is different from liquidity. Liquidity is different from imbalance. Imbalance is different from zone. So if you don't know how to sum up everything together and if you don't know how to apply it, that is when you start doubting the thought process, which is your strategy, right? But if you understand the application to it, it becomes easier for you. So the process of knowing is different from the process of the application of what you already know. So there are two different things. Know this, right? So yeah, dive in, bro. HRC, beautiful. But you see losses too. So don't think you are coming in to escape losses. Yeah, you may encounter losses because that is how trading is. Everybody do encounter losses, but at least if you take 10 trades, you are sure that at least with you can have 7 wins, you can have 6 wins, and if you are patient, because winning in trading is even we have the technical aspect of trading, we have the psychological aspect of trading, right? So if I'm going to discuss this now, it's going to be so deep, trust me. It's going to be very deep. Is how can I identify market break of structure? In what way? Because if you are trading structure, yeah, you can have more knowledge of break. Okay, see what I'm going to do. Let me send another link, guys. Let me send another link so that we'll continue. So God bless you. Really answer my thank you. Okay, you're welcome. So I'll send another link now and let's conclude. Them just give room for like maybe one or two questions, right? I'll send another link shortly. Stay in the group, stay active in the group. I'll send another link shortly, all right? So guys, stay with me.